we'll be starting with, what is T-Hub, trying to understand what exactly the T-Hub service is. We'll also do a demo. That's a live demo on the T-Hub services, so you can understand what you get when you come on board on T-Hub. We'll also be talking about the benefits of T-Hub, why you can go ahead to choose T-Hub, and then we'll be answering various questions, right, about that you might have in the course of the session. And also we'll speak on the frequently asked questions from different customers from the T-Hub services that have been using the T-Hub services. So not to waste further time, let's just jump straight into it. Right, so what is T-Hub particularly? Now, T-Hub is an all-in-one solution for logistic businesses. I like to call it the center of production for logistic businesses, in the sense that this is where you can manage your day-to-day activities, your day-to-day process, such as booking shipments, you want to collect payments, you want to collect customer inquiries, reconciliation, KYC, and all other things. It's more like a hub where you can manage the end-to-end process of your logistic business. That is entirely what T-Hub is. I'll be jumping straight to a demo or showing exactly how the T-Hub site looks like, so we can now speak more extensively on it. T-Hub particularly, it's a service that we launched after understanding from user research the difficulties third-party logistic businesses face when trying to scale. And there are three major things that are very important in a business to scale. One, it's the capital. Two, it's the people. And three, it's the technology. Now, what T-Hub has done is to help third-party logistic businesses have access to two things: the capital and the technology. I'll be speaking about the capital as we proceed in this session, but let's first speak on the technology. Now, it's very important for us to know that the traditional way logistic businesses collect data in processing shipping is most likely through WhatsApp, through social media platforms like Instagram and the likes. There is no center where customers can come in to come and process shipment or make inquiries about rates. It's more like very manual, where you have to send the logistic business a DM or send them a WhatsApp message just to have information on how much is it to UK or how much is it for 2 kg to the US. Right. Another problem that we have seen is that most of the website that third-party logistic businesses have is very informative but not functional. Informative in the sense that it has the entirety of the information of what you do as a logistic business, your address, the services you offer, and the likes. But it's not functional in the sense that customers cannot go there to sign up, book shipments, track shipments, or even get quotes. Right. So these are like the major problems we have seen in logistics businesses that we have pushed out T-Hub to use to solve. Now, if you look at what I have on my screen now, it's an internal website that probably extends what you have from the external view if you join on T-Hub. Now, on the T-Hub section here, this is where you have your logo will be most likely. But it's a very functional website. It's the constant communication you receive on WhatsApp, constant communication you receive on Instagram or on other social media platforms, just to ask about how much is it for 2 kg to the US, how much is it for 2 kg to the UK. It removes all of those constant communications, because this way customers can now just come directly to your website and get the rates. So let's try a very, very simple demo. I am a customer and I want to get rates for UK, for example, for a 2 kg item. I get on the website, I click on get quotes, right? Once I do this, it gives me a very, very simplified breakdown. Where are you shipping from and where are you shipping to? So let's say, for example, yes, I'm shipping from Nigeria, and the states, Lagos, city being Ikeja, for example, right? And I am shipping to the United Kingdom, that's UK. I'm shipping it to London, for example, and as a state, let's say the city, London, and it's a 2 kg item, and I click on get quotes. Right, so automatically you have different quotations that come out based on what you pre-save on the back end. So for context, if I run a logistic business and it's called Damola's Cargo, right, I can pre-save my shipping rate name to be Damola's Cargo Economy, Damola's Cargo Premium, Damola's Cargo Express, Damola's Cargo Standard. Or if I want a situation whereby I want the customers to know which carrier they have access to, I can also save it as DHL, FedEx, RMS, PS, and the like. Or save it the way it is here. Right? Which you can also have control over, because you can actually put in, your desired pricing, which you want your customers to see. So here you're saying economy for 48,000 to the UK. For premium service, you're saying it for 67,000. For express, it's 69,000. For standard, it's 70,000, and for saver, 76,000. It's more like you can decide to, re-engineer this in the way your business language wants to be, in terms of how you're expressing or how you're sending out your own rates. So it can be that I want to put it as Damola Express Economy to be 70,000. Depending on how you want to tweak it, you have the flexibility to change your rates and how you want your customers to basically see it. Another very functional thing about this, your customers can also go to this website and book shipments, right? So apart from getting the rates, we also understand that customers are always sending WhatsApp information, or on social media, the sender's information, the receiver's information, phone number, and all of those things. And it can be a bit cumbersome when you have to go through different WhatsApp channels or different WhatsApp chats to look for who sent this and who sent that. But the process has been pretty much automated, where as they get the rates, the next thing they can do is just book shipments immediately. So let's say, for example, I want to properly book a shipment, right? I click on the book shipment feature here, and it brings up a page where I now have to fill in more information about the shipment I'm trying to process. So we can just do like a demo shipment here, where I write my name as a sender name, and put in an email address, and put in my phone number. Let's say my sender address is Devon, Africa. And right. Let me see. Right. So it takes me to the receiver information. And I think I have something prefilled here. So I put in receiver's last name. Let me put in my email address here again. It prefills information for phone number, the address. I select the city. I put in the zip code. This is the UK address, and I click on continue. Now, the next page it comes to is to describe, the shipment that you're trying to process, right? So I go ahead to, add a parcel, and I describe what I'm trying to send. So, for example, I'm sending a T-shirt, and it's 1 and 2 kg. The value is 1,000. Right, so, or 10,000. So this is more like adding the section where I need to put information of what I'm trying to send. And I move on to the next page. It just gives me like a preview of, this is the sender information, the receiver information, parcel information, and then the shipping rates, meaning what carrier do I want to use to process the shipment. And I don't want us to forget that this is from your customer's perspective. So this is what your customers are saying particularly. So if I want to go for the cheapest option, which is the economy, I go ahead to choose this rate, and I click on submit, right? And I go ahead to click on book shipment. Now, immediately the shipment is booked. Now, the process is that it drops on your terminal dashboard as a draft shipment, where you can now, authorize the shipment to be processed or look through what the customer booked. But because we also understand that you receive packages at your hub when shipments are being booked, there is an option where the customers can also print a waybill. Right. So it has your brand name. So we can have this, this more internal, or this can have your brand logo. You can have like it has the package and bring the package to your hub. Now, when the package gets to your hub, process is that it already comes in as a draft shipment on your terminal dashboard. Process this shipment end to end from your terminal dashboard for the customer. The more extensive part of this T-Hub is where customers can now actually even do directly on this service, where after the book shipment, they can even go ahead to make payments, right? That's a more extensive version, which we're also going to push out as time comes by. But for now, it's very functional in the sense that your customers can calculate the rates. So it removes the difficulty of always coming to ask for how much is it to the UK or how much is it to the US. It's also very functional where your customers can also book shipments. So it's more sophisticated in terms of branding. So your customers have, they have this sense of how do I put it? They have this sense of they see your brand as a more executive brand in terms of, oh, I go to Damola Cargo, for example's website. I book my shipment on Damola Cargo's website. I select the carrier that I want. I print out the Damola Cargo. And it helps to done a lot of things internally to ensure this is more simplified for you, right? Because we also understand that as a business, right, you want to the website is just there for customers to come and book, right? It's going to be extensive to the point where they can also sign up through that website. They can also have a customer dashboard through that website. And for now, you can also even build a customer database through this, in the sense that if I ask most 3PLs today, how many customers on the top of your head do you have? I'm sure a lot of us will just go to our different WhatsApp, right? The centrality of that data is not somewhere, basically. But what this T-Hub service does for you is it helps you to centralize that. You get to know the total amount of customers on your database. And I'll show you that now. So we have that live, particularly on the terminal dashboard. So I'll be sharing my screen to speak more on this area. Please just let me know if you can see my screen. Right. I was speaking earlier about the add customer section, where I was speaking on the importance of this service, because first, it helps you to know the amount of customers you have in your database. Secondly, it helps you to manually add the current customers that you have in your database on this system. And thirdly, it also helps you to do KYC for the customers that you have in your database, so that you understand particularly the true details of the customers that you're shipping for. I wanted to walk you through the process of how to do this, which I'll be going ahead to do now. So let's start the process all over again. The process is to add a new customer. So let's say, for example, you have a customer that comes in or walks into your store, and you want to add the customer to the service, right? Let's say the customer's name is Paul and last name is Debbie, right? Email address paul at yopmail.com. Phone number, let me just pick a phone number on this list here, and a default password. So you have to create a default password for this customer. So I just create something very straightforward. Proceed. So on the next stage, it's more like adding information about the customer. So when the customer walks into your store, you want to ask, oh, where's your office address? Where's your location? And all of those things. So let's say, for example, customer location is Terminal Africa, right? And the system automatically fills the other information that is required there. And this is the customer's phone number, for example. Put in all of this information to create the customer on the database. And I go ahead to click on save, right? Once this is done, the next step is to add the bank information for this customer. And the reason why we are doing this is to just, the KYC option. Like I said initially, it is very important for, your customers to do KYC. So in the case of you wanting to ship on behalf of someone, you have full information of who you are shipping for and the full details of the person, right? So now I will do a very brief test. Let's say, for example, you ask for the account details of the customer, and it provides these details. 2086. right? So automatically this fills or brings up the account name of the customer once they give you like their email address, once they give you their their bank information basically. And I can click on save, and this automatically just saves this information on the database. Right. Once this is done and I want to understand that this customer is actually an actual customer, the next thing I can click on the customer's information and I can go ahead to approve or disapprove his KYC. So I can move to the KYC information to even know if the information the customer gave me when he walked into the office is the same thing with the information he registered on the database. And as you can see from here, information customer gave me when he walked into the office is Paul Debbie. Information on his true database is Kelvin Easy. So it already brings the flag that this person is trying to hide in between another person's identity. So I can choose to decline the customer's KYC. I can also choose to block the user. So this is more like a feature where you can use to, protect yourself and your business from fraudulent activities from people out there, right? We understand that you're, as third-party logistics businesses, you are shipping on behalf of other people. And for you to be able to protect your business and protect yourself, basically, you need to understand that, getting the true information of the person you're shipping for is very important. And because we know that this is very important in the entire third-party logistics ecosystem, we have also put up this service in place, which is very much active. So you can have access to even start doing KYC for the customers that you are currently shipping with now, and also the future customers that will be coming on board on your platform. So this is an extensive aspect on the customer database. Then I also want to speak on the hubs aspect, right? There's also the hubs aspect where we understand that as a third-party logistics business, you can move from, you have various branches, right? You might have an headquarters in Abuja and have another, office in Lagos. You can have one on the mainland. You can have one on the island. You can have different offices or different locations, right? This feature is basically for something I will explain as a course of the session, where we have more opportunities for you as a T-Hub customer. But it's more like a feature where you can add the necessary address or different addresses of your hub, basically where customers can come there to drop off any of their shipments, basically. So that is just like an extensive explanation of the hubs. I'll be moving on to more like the benefits of T-Hub as a service, basically. Right. I'll be moving more to more of the benefit of T-Hub as a service. And, in my initial statement where I spoke about the hubs, right? Right. In my initial statement about the hubs, I spoke about, where, you can put in address information of, where your location is. And that brings me to this number one benefit, access to terminal station networks. So there's something we're also working on, which is also in the works, or in the pipeline, where we want to build a model where we can use customers that are very much trusted on our T-Hub network to serve as drop-off locations for, other customers, basically like merchant services. So with you adding, these hubs, it can be a situation whereby you can now we can use that location as a drop-off center for other customers that are closer to your location to just drop off shipments and you can process on their behalf, right? That is still within the pipeline and can be extended more extensively once you join the T-Hub services. Now, another benefit of T-Hub is, streamlining operations in the sense that, you see, I walked you through booking a shipment from getting quotes to booking a shipment in less than 2 minutes. It streamlines the entire operations. It reduces the workload on your staff in terms of always having to speak to customers to say, this is the price. And it also reduces a lot of negotiation. So if I give you at 48,000, you're not going to negotiate with the website that, oh, I don't want to pay 48,000. You already see the different, various prices that you can, tap into, basically, you can select, right? It reduces and streamlining a lot of touch points that, customers might have with your own staff and reduces stress entirely. Then also branding your logistics business. It's very important. Branding is very key because it's how people perceive your business. So if I'm walking up to a logistics business today and I'm saying, oh, they have a website, I can book on their website, they have a customized way bill, it makes me trust the business more. It makes me feel like this person is very serious with what they're trying to build and I can actually do business with them. Another aspect is access to capital in terms like, On the T-Hub service, you get a business account that carries your name, right? So when you sign up on T-Hub, you have a designated business account. So I know currently for most customers now, you're seeing a terminal app slash your business name, but now you're having like a designated business account name, and this monitors a lot of your inflows and outflows. And basically, we are able to see, the circulation of cash that is running through your business. And if tomorrow you want to, have access to capital to probably buy bikes or probably expand to another city or expand to another location, because we've been able to see the inflow and outflow from the designated business account that we've been able to give to you, you can have access to this capital. You can have access to this service almost immediately. So these are like one of the major, benefits of using the T-Hub services as a whole, right? So in conclusion, I just want to, put up a wrap to it that T-Hub basically is like the game changer for logistic businesses today, right? It gives you all in one platform. It gives you the access to, build a system where your customers can, connect with you more in terms of branding. You can streamline your operational process in terms of, or your communication process in terms of, making it easier for them to generate rates, making it easier for them to book shipments, right? You can also streamline your whole operational process where you can monitor or manage all the carriers that you work with, and the insights you get from these services in terms of, because it's linked directly to your terminal dashboard, so you have insights from your probably your top performing customer, you have insights from your low performing customers, what you ship the most, what they ship the most, and it can help you make more informed decisions in terms of marketing and in terms of customer retention as a total. So it's more like an all-in-one service that you know makes it easy for you to scale as a third-party logistics. All right. I think there has been a little bit of network issues, but I think I'm back on now and you can hear me. So we can go on to questions. I think I've been doing a lot of the talking, so we can go on to questions that we might have, and I'll be very glad to answer them one after the other. So if you have a question, you can just raise your hand, and then we can take it up from there, or you can put your questions on the chat box below.
Damola, can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear, right?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi, Prosper. How are you doing?
Very fine. My name is Prosper. I'm calling from Harcourt, and this is an amazing system that I have been looking for to understand the electrical and energy information is amazing. So just a quick one. One of the best parts is that you get to determine your price, which is fundamental. So, but then you didn't walk us through how you can make that adjustment if you want to. I don't know if you can walk us through that.
Okay, so for now, the process is still controlled by us in the terms of we share you once you come on board on the T-Hub service after you have paid for most likely the setup fee, which we'll be discussing after these live questions. You would share us your rate card, right? And rate card in terms of the rate card you want your customers to see, basically. And once you share this rate card, we'll be able to implement it on the back end for it to display on the front end part of your website. But this is because it's the initial phase, right? Over time, you'll be able to control fully how this works, because we'll be able to walk you through that process on how you can manually upload your own rates at any time, because we understand the way the ecosystem is. Rates can change, in the space of days. So over time, you'll be able to control this process or manage this process on your own. But for now, we manage this process end to end on your behalf. So we share you a template, you just share us your rates in that template, and in the snap of a finger, we upload it, and almost immediately it displays on your website. I don't know if I've been able to answer your question, Prosper.
Yes, very well. The secondly, I know the network was really bad, so I didn't know if you talked about how customers get to pay. Like, do they have like a wallet like we do? You just make payment to that wallet and you just deduct, or they get to pay like manually, like a payment system like?
Yes, extensively on the customer dashboard aspect. When that is ready, we'll have all of those systems in place where, from the booking process, once a customer books the shipment, they can go ahead to make payments directly from that booking process. But for now, it's still very much controlled by your business in terms that when this item, comes in on your dashboard on terminal, you can now communicate the price to the customer, or not even communicate the price to the customer. Customer can make payment to you directly, majorly through your business bank account that we have given to you. That process is still going to be a bit manual. But the next phase from here is to, do the payment option where, customers can now even make payments through the booking process. So after they have selected the right rate, they can make payment through that booking process. And we also understand that a customer can put in the 2 kg item, but when it gets into your office, there might be some discrepancies or disparity where it's like 2.5 or 3 kg. There's also a system in place where you can actually nudge the customer through the dashboard to, do corrections for the weight disparity, and also probably debits their wallet from that. So all of those systems are not yet live, but it's already in the pipeline to build a payment system that your customers will have anytime they do a booking. It runs through that platform. I don't know if you
So
understand.
I didn't understand it. I want to know if like can you just like phrase in summary? You said plenty things, so and you said a lot of things that will happen subsequently in the future. I'm thinking about
Yes.
now, as of today, how do they get to make payments?
As at today, it's still the traditional way you receive payment from your customer.
Okay, so they do the booking, generate
Yes.
that invoice, bring it to the hub, then make a transfer or something after assessing what they've done. Okay, that's fine.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Right.
Sorry, I have a question. I already sent one in the message. I don't know if you
Okay.
can see that.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Then the second question is
Okay.
and this is like out of context of what you've been discussing. My own question is can Terminal implement like an overdraft feature, similar to wallet funds to serve as a backup for with the 3PLs? This would be particularly useful for urgent item processing when we have maybe bank issues, like our own personal bank having network issues and all of that. Then I have the other one that is sent already in the chat. When you talked about the KYC. Now the KYC feature is really good, but the only issue I'm having is the fact that you say we'll be asking customers their account details. Now, what about customers that are abroad? What about customers that are abroad and also the ones that they might refuse to drop their account details? How do you think we can persuade them to do such?
Okay. Yeah. So I will take the questions one after the other. So the first one was for the overdraft feature. I think this is not particularly tied to T-Hub. Am I correct? This is more like a question regarding terminal as a whole in terms of the dashboard. I don't know if you can hear me, Esther. But for that overdraft feature, I think we would look at that internally. And if we're able to bring up something that can work for you, we will definitely communicate. But currently, we do not have that. But it's something that, as you have brought up, we'll look at it with the team internally. And if we're able to, put something together, we'll definitely communicate to you about that. Then in terms of, the account number, so for customers that refuse to drop their account details, I want to believe that it's very important that we enforce this information. We'll also be able to put in other features that is easier for your customers to have more, options to choose from, most likely NIN,
Yes,
BVN.
NIM is better.
Yes, NIN, BVN,
BBN, yeah.
CAC, and all those other things. We will put in all of these other features as time goes on so that you can have more, features to pick from. So if a customer is unable to draw account details, they can, pick from the other options. But I also want to say that this is most likely your job to ensure that these customers actually give you KYC information, because it's very important in the long run you understand, the true information of the customers you're trying to deal with. So I think it can be a compliance thing that your business can do, right, to make it mandatory for customers to provide this information. And for customers abroad, we currently don't have that service put in place, but I'm sure that I've also taken this down, and it's something that the team would also look at to be able to, for customers that you have abroad to be able to put up a KYC information details. It might most likely be an identity card or something, but something we can use to validate that this is the actual true shipper that is processing these items. Have I been able to answer your question, Esther?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. So I think Eddie Tracy also put a question that how do we register for T-Hub to start making use of it? We'll be sharing a link on this in-call message that you can click on, or follow up also from this call. We'll be sharing an onboarding link that you can use to start up on T-Hub and kick off the whole process. Donald, can you help me drop the link on chat? So yes, we'll be sharing a link that you can click on now, but also after this call, we'll be sending you an email on that. Do we have any other questions that we want to ask?
Okay, so one more question. This concerning the entire booking process. So let's say customer does it, right? Now you mentioned that it drops as a draft on the back end. So when it drops as a draft, what's the next process, and how do we get to the point where we can then get the LWB document and all that?
So you're very familiar with the normal booking process on terminal, but if you are not, it's more like when the shipment comes in as a draft on your terminal dashboard, you are able to resume that shipment. So what is auto-filled is the details that the customer has already put on your website, sender information and receiver information. You can now verify, all of the details that they put into place. You can also verify the weights, the items they are shipping, and then that is where you also have visibility to the actual price. So this is where it is more controlled by you as the business owner, or who you give authority to process shipments in your office. So the actual price of the item is also shown there. Then that can be selected, and then you can now see, you can go ahead to print out the way bill, the invoices, the way the terminal system is at convenience, and then share that with your customer. So it's more like resuming the shipment as a normal terminal shipment, but the difference is the information has already been pre-filled by the customer in terms of the sender information and receiver information. All you are doing there is to just cross-check what was provided and processing it till the end.
Perfect.
Right. So I don't know if we have any other questions before I move ahead. All right. If there are no questions, I can just move ahead to the next phase. So what are the frequently asked questions by customers regarding this T-Hub? So first, I think is, will I pay a monthly subscription? Yes, you pay a monthly subscription. Right. So let me just use this to talk about pricing, right? We have made this very flexible for all our customers, and we understand that T-Hub is the next game changer in the logistic ecosystem. So we have 3 different versions. Right, the first version is a free version actually. So, but this version doesn't give you the beautiful website that I just demoed for you. It more likely gives you just a one-pager that your customers can go there and just track their shipment. For entry-level logistic business owner that wants to put in branding into what they are doing, that's what you get on the free version, and you pay a monthly subscription for your 5,000 naira for that. Now, the second version, which is the tier 1 version, is more of the tier 2 version is more of the version where you pay 200,000 naira, right? 200,000 naira gives you exactly what I just demoed today. So you have, your customers can book shipments, can process shipments, can do all of the basic things, calculate rates, it drops on your draft shipment, you can process for the customer. It gives you extensively what I just demoed for you today. And the monthly subscription fee for that is 25,000 naira. Then there's the tier 3 version, which is the 600,000 naira version. So it gives you more than what I just demoed for you today. So it most likely gives you, I know you're very conversant with the terminal website, it gives you that in your own branding. So meaning customers can sign up, they have a customer dashboard, customers have a wallet payment system, customers can do their KYC, you can process reconciliation, you have access to insights. This is the more extensive version that the tier 3 plan gives you. And the timeline for that's more like even answering the second question, that what does the final stage of T-Hub look like? That's exactly the final stage of T-Hub, where you have something more extensive that you have a proper website that is very functional, where customers can come there, sign up, do their KYC. You have a website that gives you a reconciliation data, gives you insights. You have an all-inclusive website, something very similar to Terminal, but more in your own branding, right? So it goes to how long does it take to set up my logistics business? So for this service that I just demoed today, it takes about 2 weeks max for you to get this up and going. And I want to believe that a couple of us might have, had opportunities with, developers or spoken to a couple of developers to help us build something very similar to what Terminal has. And then the charge and the timeline for that to be done is always very extensive. But for you to have a very functional website like what I just demoed for you today, maximum it takes you about 2 weeks, right? And do we provide training on how to use it? Definitely, we do provide training on how to use it. If you go to the website and select to know more about the T-Hub service, you get to have a one-on-one consultation with our senior account managers where we speak to you more about the T-Hub service, and we'll walk you through it end to end so that you're properly onboarded into the service. So definitely, yes, we provide training. There's constant communication, right, on how you want your website to be in terms of your services, the language and all those things, the kind of images, the brand colors. There's a lot of communication that goes into that. So yes, we also provide training on how to also use it in terms of like what Prosper asked in, and when the other features are live, in terms of wallet system, rate upload, and all those things. We will definitely provide an extensive training on how to guide, on how that works. I think that's like an extensive version of what T-Hub looks like. I don't know if we have, any other question that you want me to answer before we call this session to close.
Hi, Sansi. I'm sorry, so I actually joined a bit late, so I don't mind if we have like probably a documented, or can we share since it's recorded, can we share this later on? Like,
Yes, sure. You'll get an email of the recorded version so you can, learn more about what we discussed.
all right, thank you.
All right. Empress Logistics.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Network is bad.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear though. I don't know if you want to ask a question, Empress Logistics. Your mic is muted, but you can also type in your questions on the in-call messages if you're having challenges with your network. Right. Do we have any other questions from any other person so I can just address before we call this a close?
Okay, so just a summary, because I believe the different packages you mentioned, I think that the difference is a little bit different from what was posted from. Okay, so I believe this is first tier one is a free 5,000 monthly fee. Second one is a 200,000 for settle. The three is 700,000.
I'm sorry, Prosper. Viewer is a bit noisy, so I'm unable to clearly. Prosper, I don't know if you want to take your question again, because where you were was a bit noisy and I wasn't able to hear you.
Okay, you can hear me clearly, right? Okay, I was saying that the prices you give is a bit different from what was earlier published. So I believe this is the much more updated packages.
This is a much more updated package. And if you want more information, I think Donald just dropped the link on the income messages. If you want more information, if you want to book a consultation for T-Hub, you can, click on that link, sign up, and then you get to speak to managers on a one-on-one consultation. We kick off in terms of pricing and every other question that you might have. Right. I think that goes for also everybody. If you want to, book a one-on-one consultation session and you want to, have more insights on the T-Hub service and you want like a more, detailed explanation of how it works, you can click on the link which Jonah just dropped on the in-call messages, and then we will just schedule a session with you at a very convenient time, and then we can walk you through the extended service of T-Hub. But yes, I just want to, for a close, I just want us to put it at the back of our mind that this is the game changer for logistics businesses today. And I believe that everyone that wants to scale their business to the next level, I said three things at the beginning of the call: capital, tech, and people. I want to believe that we have the people, right? But now you can have access to the technology and also the capital, which will help you scale your business to where you want it to be. So I believe that you should be able to, look more about the T-Hub service, streamline your logistic process, get into the all-in-one, streamline process for T-Hub, where you can, automate your booking, automate your customer inquiries, automate your KYC and the likes, right? And give your business a better branding. Join T-Hub today and, scale your business to the next level, right? I think if in the absence of any other questions, we can, call this a very great session. And don't forget to go to the website or click on the link below to book a one-on-one consultation where we can speak more extensively on the T-Hub service, and we can take it up from there. Thank you all for joining, and I think you should have like a very fantastic weekend ahead. Cheers.